The fan service in the Keijo anime series was unlike anything we've seen before in ecchi anime series. I've seen many ecchi anime series before, and usually the fan service is a typical pain shot, or a typical guy trips and falls on top of a girl cliche. Sometimes the fan service is just a girl being topless. This kind of fan service is cliche, and not seen as anything new. The fan service in Keijo is truly creative and bizarre. You couldn't believe what you're seeing. Girls were competing in sports, and were using their breasts and butts to knock the other girls off the stage. They even used special attacks using their breasts and butts, as if this was a Battle Shonen anime series. It was so over the top and shocking. You couldn't help but laugh and be entertained. This may count as so-called fan service, but it was unlike any fan service we've seen before. We think of fan service as something unnecessary, that is just added in to get people to keep watching. But this kind of fan service was absolutely necessary for the plot. It was both appealing to look at, and cool at the same time. Not only that, for once an ecchi anime series had top tier animation, and the special attacks looked so nicely animated when done. It was not just the fan service that was great. The characters and plot were great as well. The anime had a likable cast of characters with their own problems and challenges to overcome. The anime gave these characters great character development, and we get to see them grow throughout the series. The matches overall were intense, and surprisingly required a lot of strategy. The characters carefully planned out their attacks. It was so entertaining seeing the girls train their breasts and butts. For once, fan service wasn't distracting you from plot. It was plot. The anime was intense and entertaining at every point. It was one of the best and most creative ecchi anime series I had ever seen. And guess how it was perceived by many anime fans. It was just seen as another typical ecchi anime series. Nothing special at all. The score of 6.92 on my anime list says everything you need to know. Now of course people will say my anime list scores don't matter. But 191,000 people rated this anime series on my anime list. And that was average score after taking everyone's ratings into account. That is a lot of people. I can't think of any other website that had this amount of traffic. It's the best way to see what overall opinion people have of the series in terms of people outside Japan. Maybe in Japan, it was a major success. But outside Japan, it was just seen as another typical ecchi anime series. When we look at scores on my anime list, what do you usually see often? A score between 7.3 and 7.7. In general, anything that is scored below a 7 is seen as below average. Now of course, a 6 on my anime list may technically should be counted as fine. But we all know anime fans on my anime list see entirely different. 5 is supposed to be average. But an anime with a score of 7 is what we usually think of when we think of average on my anime list. 5 is actually very bad, and not average on my anime list. Technically, the average overall score, when you try to count all the anime series out there, is 6.69. But most of the anime fans out there don't even watch anime series with really low scores. So because of that, we usually see something between 7.3 and 7.7. The score of 6.92 for this anime series just shows it doesn't matter how creative an ecchi anime series may be. As long as fan service has a major part in the anime series, it will be seen as a below average anime. People don't mind fan service when it's not the center of attention, such as the fan service in Fairy Tail and Seven Deadly Sins. The only ecchi anime series that has fan service as main appeal, and still have a high score on my anime list, is Golden Boy. But that's more because of nostalgia. It was an old ecchi anime series we have great memories of. If that kind of ecchi anime series was made recently, it would be rated harshly. It is disappointing people are so biased against the ecchi genre, but that's just how it is. I still appreciate the creativity and the amount of effort put into this anime series.